Is it up? Oh, there we go. Nice. So I'm just going to give you a short little podcast clip of what I usually do in my garage when I do podcasts. I'm kind of calling this one Seeing Through the Veil, right? And everybody's like, oh, the veil. And when I was a kid, I remember being in church, and they'd be like, you know, Jesus pierced the veil. And I was like, he did? What does that mean? And they're like, he pierced the veil. That's what it is. I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. That sounds like a really great thing. But where did he pierce it, and what does that mean? That's a big question, right? What is the veil? What's the definition of a veil? Something to cover something, to hide behind it. Women wear the veil in different countries. Brides, grooms wear the veil before they get married or while they're getting married to cover their face, to conceal themselves. But we're talking about something even more bigger than that. The veil of secrecy that has been beyond our understanding for a long time as humans on this planet. And I'm going to tell you guys a little secret in case you don't know. This is not your first time. It's not your first time in that body. Experiencing being a male or a female or light skin or dark skin or whatever you want to perceive yourself as. This has happened before, over and over and over, till we get to a place where we start to remember these things. I have started to remember my past lives, and I remember the things that happened, and I remember following certain people and being around when they were around. And that veil, whether it's a natural state or not, I do believe as we come into consciousness, as we come into being who we really are, right? We come awake, and we were like, going to have lives in the beginning. Maybe we're a little bit more awake than we are now. And we have ups and flows, and we're more in tune with our power and who we are. But somewhere along the way in that reincarnation, in that evolution, we forget. And that's all right. We forget who we are. We forget that we have power. We forget how incredible we are. We forget that we're all Christ, that we're all Buddha, that we're all God's source incarnated into a body for a little bit. And you become Jacob Cox, the guy from a tiny town in a little state with a southern accent. And that's fun. You could be that guy for a while. But it compares none into the soul that I am inside and the soul that each one of you are inside as well. I think that's the biggest thing that we're talking about. What is on the other side of this veil? And if it's just a natural thing, that's fine. But there also is a veil that is created from secrecy, from dark magic, from people, entities, and a very few at that use dark Kabbalistic magic in order to create a veil of secrecy so that we don't know our history, we don't know what real education is, we don't know what real food is, we don't know what real natural disasters are, right? We don't know about real medicine, and we don't know about free energy. And now we've come to a place where we're starting to figure it out. What were they doing with those pyramids? What is Pumapunku? How did they draw and paint inside of temples without lights, and there's no soot from fire on the ceiling? Because they had electricity. Because they can, like Mike was talking about, put buildings and temples on ley lines and draw out energy like a practitioner would put on your body to create acupuncture, to relieve that stress, to send energy to certain points and nodes so that you can heal yourself and gain a little bit. That's something that people don't want you to know. Why? Because they want to sell you their drugs. I want to sell you my pharmakeia. Pharmakeia means sorcery. Anybody know that? Pharmakeia means sorcery. They're using those things to make us dumb. They're using those things to make us sick. You have to be careful what we take all these medicines. We have used the planet, air, water, fire, and earth to heal our bodies for a long time. And I'm saying that we're all going back to that. All the beautiful speakers that we've had today have ensured us of that we have a power, that nature has a medicine for us. Just sitting outside in the quiet with your shoes off to take on the free-flowing electrons from the planet up into your body is grounding. That can relieve inflammation. It can relieve lots of stress. It can relieve anxiety. But forget that, it's easier to pop a pill, right? We have to be careful about the easy way out and what looks like an easy way to do things. That veil of secrecy that's kept us from seeing all these things, I believe, is a small group of entities that create rituals to create that. It's a spell. We're under a spell. You're under a spell. I'm under a spell. We don't really know who we are. We don't know our history, because history is his story. Whose story? Probably King James's story. But there was a Bible called the Geneva Bible before King James. But King James had to change it up and change things around. And guess what? They've always changed our books. They've always changed our history. And all the things that we think we know, we have to be careful. Even things that you were taught in school to be fact are not facts. If you can come to this conclusion to realize that the very things that you think to be true should be questioned, you will hold a lot of power in your life again. To know that it is worth questioning every single thing. Medicine, history, all the things, politics. If you are polarized to one side or the other, you will consistently see a bad guy on the other side, right? I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. Right wing or left wing, they're both part of the same bird. And I ain't going to spend my time being angry at this side or that side. Let them have at it. But I am going to spend my time dedicated to my family, dedicated to love, dedicated to forgiveness, being kind. Because why? Because that energy resonates out. Or I can stay in anger, and I can stay polarized, and that energy flows out too. How powerful each one of you that you get to decide in this very moment, will I be a positive person? Will I be a loving person? Or I'll be someone who's angry at the president or whoever I want to be angry at, and that will flow out. And guess what? Not only will you flow that out, you'll find other people who resonate with that, and you'll create a whole audience of angry people. That's not what I want to do here. Today I want you guys to see through the veil. I want us to see the word apocalypse is not some gloom and doom party where everybody fights each other. The actual word apocalypse comes from a Greek word meaning what is covered, what is concealed, and what will be revealed and come out of hiding. That is what every book and every culture that I've read about explains. The apocalypse is an unveiling of the veil, right? And maybe Jesus did pierce that veil back in the day. They were completely oblivious to these things. But I would say that what is going on this planet is very dark. Entities from other places have come here to take over. You can call it whatever you want. You can call me crazy. That's fine. I'm good with it. If I'm speaking the truth, it's the truth. If there are people on other planets that have come here and done things to us and made it so we don't understand who we really are, okay, that's scary for some people. That's fine. But at the end of the day, when someone takes advantage of you, someone does something bad to you and you feel bad about it, don't feel bad. You can thank them. Because the minute you take advantage of me, I get to realize something incredible, my own worth. And when I've been taken advantage of in my life, I had to be thankful to people because I realized he can only take advantage of me if I have worth. That is very empowering to me because I probably wouldn't have learned it that fast without that person doing that. So thank you. Thank you for belittling me. Thank you for teasing me. Thank you for putting me down because you put someone in a position to build myself up stronger than I've ever been, to have confidence in myself, to believe that I have a purpose here on this planet. And that apocalypse is not just something that happens worldwide. It's something that happens in each and every single one of us. Each and every one of us has an awakening that's happening. I would say every single person here, you're here because you're having an awakening. You are seeing through a veil of secrecy that has been on this planet for an extremely long time, probably hundreds of thousands of years. That Anunnaki people and other people have come down here and changed our DNA. They have changed the way we do things. They have changed our naturalistic ways to a way that benefits them in a way that the Matrix is not a story that's all a movie. It's a documentary. They are feeding off of us. And when you take your power back, when you realize who you really are, you can take your power back and they no longer feed off that. We change the game instantly. We take it back. So, I mean, right? Hallelujah, right? I mean, I'm glad somebody's hearing what I'm saying. This is a pretty cool painting. I think there's a description online that's better than what I'm going to give you, but basically it goes from oneness to duality, to the Trinity, to the four elements, and then animals, the dinosaurs. I don't agree with the whole evolution thing per se completely, but monkeys. And then you get this cool place where we're at with Buddha, and you see all the luscious grass and everything is beautiful. And then we get to the place where Jesus is crucified, and it looks like we've gone through this dark industrial time, right? Christ came, and when he came, and that he was crucified on the cross, because why? Because we didn't believe who he was, right? And what did he say to us when he was doing all his miracles? When he healed people on the Sabbath day, he said, hey man, you can't do that. You can't heal people on the Sabbath day. He said what? My Father works every day. Don't give me no religion where he takes one day off. The universe spins, the planets spin, the stars shine every single day. It's not one day it takes it off. When they said, hey, we found this woman committed adultery, the scrolls tell us that we should stone her. What do you say? Ye without sin cast the first stone. Every single one of us has done stupid things. And guess what? Better to be hot or cold than lukewarm. Because at the end of the day, those cold periods of times, those dumb mistakes that you make, hopefully if you make enough of them or they're extreme enough, they put you on a track to be a better person. Every single thing is valid. Every mistake you made is fine. Your Father, the Godhead, forgives you no matter what. You are forgiven as long as you forgive yourself. Do unto others as you want people to do unto you. Forgive others as you are forgiven. And that's it, because you hold the judgment on yourself. I hold the judgment on everybody else here if I don't forgive other people. So anyways, we go from this dark period, and then here's where I think we are right here. We're in the chaos. We're in the crazy cusp of stuff, right? But we're going back to a place I think is a 0 point in a torus. We're going to be maybe fifth dimensional beings, maybe higher than that. Maybe we'll go back to 12 dimensions. Maybe those dimensions are already here. But it goes back to oneness eventually. So we're in this chaos, we're in the burning, we're using too much resources, we're burning things we shouldn't be, we're using oil more than we probably should be, although we probably have more than they're telling us. But we're in a place where we're basically just feeding off Mother Nature. We have all these industries, and we want to go here, right? Does everybody want to live in here? The Garden of Eden? Does everybody want to live in a place where babies roam free and things happen that are beautiful and where there's beautiful landscapes and all the animals exist and things aren't going extinct? Yeah, that's where I want to live too. We want to live in that golden age, the golden Kali Yuga. Cassandra, there's a baby approaching me. Okay.
I don't know how to give free.
You can give him free. I can hold him probably too.
I mean, I can lift him. I just.
Let's see.
Not doing anything bad.
I know, right? So we want to go to a golden Kali Yuga. That's where we're going, right? A golden age. That's what every book talks about. It really does. It says that not only are we going to, but we've been there before. Atlantis, Lemuria, High Brazil, all these incredible places where people had high technology. I believe that in the Egyptian times where the pyramids were built, not 3,600 or 4,500 years ago, I'm talking about tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of years ago when the pyramids were actually built and they had limestone casings on them that you could bounce a laser off of. Those things were built. They were energy centers that created free energy for everybody around. Stonehenge was an energy building that created energy for everybody. Everybody had electricity. Nobody needed wires. Nikola Tesla lived right here in our town on Pikes Peak and Northfoot, right across from Memorial Library. That's where he did his experiments, right? He said he rediscovered something. He didn't discover free energy. Y'all seen the picture with electricity just flying through the room. He rediscovered something. He understood what people were figuring out back in the day. These civilizations had free energy. They had ways to levitate blocks. They had sound technologies to heal people. And my guess is the open sarcophagus that you see in a tomb, in a pyramid, is not a tomb, but it was an enlightening device where someone could lie down in it and become enlightened. Probably the difference between earmuffs for little kids, mushrooms and LSD. Mushrooms, that more earthy, natural thing, and then LSD. Probably that, where you can be enlightened by yourself. You know, it seems like Jesus and Buddha and John the Baptist and all these people who went into the wilderness for 40 days and meditated and went down to the depths of hell and got the keys only to rise back up as masters of the universe. That's like a more natural way, I think. But I think that's probably what they were doing in those pyramids. And I do believe that they had free energy to make those things happen, to create those buildings, and those things have been around for an awfully long time. So again, we live in this planet over here, little death and destruction, a little crazy chaos. That's fine. Every book I've ever read says that's how it is. They say this is what happens at the end. You're not special. This happens on all the planets. You go through periods of light, you go through periods of dark. Guess what? If a seed doesn't have both, it dies. If you don't have both, you die. You need darkness. You need light. I wouldn't shun one away. It is something that you need. It's part of the journey, the hero's journey. The hero has to have people that he fights and obstacles and challenges. If you watched a movie where all he did was win, we wouldn't like it. It's the hero's journey, the archetype that speaks to you inside of your hearts that says, I like watching Marvel movies. I like watching heroes. I like watching somebody be their best self. Why? Because ultimately it's you. It's speaking to you. It's speaking to your heart and to your mind. It's time for you to do that. It's time for you to save yourself. It's time for you to be your best version, to eliminate the lust, the greed, the anger, your deception. See through the veil and see who you really are and who you came here to be. Anybody? Anybody? That's right. I'm not saying this for myself because, I'm saying this because I want to light a fire in everybody, right? Every single person who comes here, you're as good, you're as important, you're as incredible as Jesus, Buddha, Gandhi, John Lennon, Martin Luther King, all of them. In fact, he said, you can do all the same things I'm doing and greater things. Why don't we do those things? Because there's a veil. There's a program for you not to remember, for you to forget. For you to sit behind your desk and don't talk about the things that you really care about. Talk about the weather. Don't get outside of the box of comfortability. Stay in there and don't speak up. It ruffles the feathers of people who want it to stay like this. I don't care. I really don't care. I think the time is now. I don't think it's tomorrow. I think it's right here in this moment. I think right here in this moment, when we come together in the sake of love, compassion, empathy, power, strength, courage, it creates a vibrational frequency that not only stays in this building, but it permeates throughout the entire city, our country, our world, and that's how we take it back. And let me tell you, they don't want you to know who you are. They don't want you to know how powerful you are. They want you to fight each other because your skin is darker than his. You're a Democrat and you're a Republican. You should hate each other. Don't sit in the same room. They are scared to death if we come together as one. For no reason at all, because you exist. Because you're a human being, and so am I. And we forgot what it is to be. We want to be human doings all the time. We're human beings. Be here now with each one of us. Love each other. Know that no matter who it is, every person is God inside in the flesh. How you treat every single person is how you are treating God every day. How you treat the earth is how you treat God. So give forgiveness, give kindness, give empathy to every single person out there. Because you're it. You're God and they're God, and how you treat every person is incredibly important. So what's happening? The system is cracking. And that's good. Your system is cracked. That's how the light gets in. Your foundations are starting to crack. The worlds are starting to crack. Your relationships are starting to crack. That's good. I say it's good. Because guess what? That is how the light gets in. That is how things change. When we're comfortable and things are easy, you're fine sitting on the couch lukewarm. Not till you get really hot or really cold, one way or the other, that you really start to change your life and be who you really were here to be. Because, and I'll say it again over and over again, when Jesus was doing those miracles and they asked him, who are you to do these things? And he said, ye are all gods. Every single one of you. All of us are gods. You just don't know it yet. What if you had the power today to change the world? You could change your universe by your attitude. You could change your life by just thinking differently, by forgiving yourself, by loving yourself, and taking that first relationship you have. Number one and first most relationship I have is with myself, how I love myself, how I forgive myself, and then taking that and amplifying it to every person I run into. That when I go to my work, when I go to my job, when I'm at home, I'm happy to be there. That you can change somebody's life just by being a good person at work, in the community. That's what we're here to do. And it's by turning that pineal gland on. I think that's super important. We don't talk about it enough, really. But that third eye, it's been calcified for a long time. We've had those poisonous foods, fluorides in our water, all the things that they try to do to us. They spray us, with chemicals up here. And guess what? After all the spraying, all the food toxicity, all the programs that they put on television, programming, people are still waking up. You can't stop it. You might get a crowd to follow a certain thing, but you can't stop us. It's inevitable. The question is, do you want to go to that new world? Do you want to go to the place where that's been promised to us, a promised land, a golden Kali Yuga, the golden age? Because you know what it's going to take from you? It's going to take your greatest superpower. You have to learn to love yourself, how to love others, infinitely no matter what, to not judge them, as God does. He gives everybody free will to go make your mistakes and do your thing. And you have to do the same thing. No judgment on anybody. Let people be who they are, where they're at right now, and love them exactly where they are, right here and now. Why? Because we're the rainbow warriors that your ancestors were telling them about back in the day, right? Every single one of this person, every single one of you people in the audience today, I believe that. If you are here today, listen to me, have this little speech, I think you have to be, right? And you have to think about that way yourself too. The rainbow warriors would show people, and the Great Spirit is full of love and understanding, and teach them how to make the earth beautiful again. That is a prophecy by Native Americans in this country many times over in different cultures saying the same exact thing. And we are those people. I think every single one of us, the beauty part of reincarnation is you've got to be Jewish, you've got to be Christian, you've got to be Islamic, you've got to be natural, you've got to be Native American, you've got to be white, black, and all the other things. And take all the things that you have come to know and to bring it to this person who you are right now. All the challenges, all the things that I have 2 minutes, all the things that I put together, I got to put it in this body right here. Because you know why? Because I want to ignite the world with love. I want to ignite the world with who I am inside, because everything that I am inside you are. So if you can feel my resonance of how powerful I feel, not because I'm just better than anyone, because I love you guys. I'm enthralled by the teachers and the people playing the music and all the things, and I love it, and I love talking to you about these kind of things. And there's somebody out there selling crystals, and somebody out there giving massages. And we come together and we do those things because we really love it. We love helping other people. We're serving the world. We change the world. And we have to have an attitude that maybe seems a little bit over the top, but you have to not just think that you're going to do something, not think that you can. Morpheus said, you have to know that you can. Know that you are. I know that we're going to have a good world. I know that the world is going to change. I know that I care about people. I know that I'm a good person. And stop beating yourself up and tearing yourself down for all the things you've done and that you're not. Because guess what? When we stand in that essence, when we stand in that power, truly, no weapon formed against us shall prosper, nothing. I believe that that's possible. I believe that you can go through the world and not get shot when people are shooting at you. There's nothing that can stop you if you don't want to. And then, if we do that, then what? We're a whole world full of gods and goddesses again. People flying around, people creating fertility banks. I mean, just a beautiful world where everything works for everybody. That's what I think I want. Because, for Jesus or someone or Buddha to reach enlightenment, I would think it would probably be a little empty inside. Because everyone else out there, I want you guys all to be the same thing too. I want you guys to be great too. I want to go to the grocery store and somebody's getting paid the right wage they want and having the life they want and excited to give you your groceries and all the other places in town. I want to go places where people are ecstatic to be there and happy about it. So this is the comment that I really believe true, and this is the end for me today. Within our lifetime, I believe we will see all the world's lakes and oceans, rivers, and waterways restored to purity, as well as our soil. Toxic chemicals containing our food and other common products will be outlawed. Pharmaceutical companies will cease with holistic healing. Practices become the norm. The people of each nation will govern themselves. Clean, free energy will be in play. Big changes are coming, and the cabal who've controlled society through religion, politics, health, and education will be completely gone. I'd say right here, right now. Right? Because here's the deal. Even if it doesn't happen in the timeline where it's like in your lifetime, can that be your reality right now? Can you live a reality right now where you are not controlled by their propaganda? Can you live your life right now where you're not controlled by their religion? Are there politics? Are there polarization to polarize you to one side or the other? You can totally, each and every single one of us can totally live that. Jesus lived it 2,000 years ago. Buddha lived it. And all the other incredible enlightened beings lived it. Why can't each one of us live it too? And with that, I say, I think that world is not just coming, but I think it's here. But you got to see it, feel it, believe it, smell it, and know that it exists right here in this moment right now. I want to say thank you guys. If you'd like that, I do stuff like that. Find me on YouTube, Nostradamus with a G, Gnostradamus. Thank you guys. One love.